Alright, after for so long, we finally got a Battle Siren based ride line called the Argo Siren. Yes, another Aqua Force theme, but this time it doesn't really play like Aqua Force. So let's begin. So first off, here's the starter, Argo Siren Rotilis, in which we go to the grade 1 Wakey Power Argo Siren Ermia, which when you ride it on top of the Rotilis, the grade 0, reveal the Argo Siren grade 3 from your ride deck, and then search your deck for one Tiding card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, of course, shuffle your deck. Tiding card being the set order of the deck. Although in this case, there's actually two of them. But anyway, second skill, auto back row rear guard. Once per turn, when your unit in the same column is this unit is stood by card ability, if your Vanguard's Argo Siren, cost Soul Blast 1, stand this unit. Yes, we got restanding rear guards in this deck, but just once again, it doesn't play like Aqua Force, so you're not multi-attacking with your rear guards first. And so we go to the first set order, Catharos Ode, which is a grade 1, so search this off with your grade 1 so you can play it immediately, because you play it by Soul Blasting 1 while your Vanguard is Argo Siren. So when you put this on the order zone, look at top Siren card to your deck to choose up to one card from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand if it's a Tiding card, or call it to rear guard if it's an Argo Siren card that is grade less than or equal to your Vanguard. And of course, shuffle your deck. This is obviously very good because it obviously searches from your top 7, although if you do play this in your grade 1 turn, you are a bit restricted on what you can call, but just being able to filter out your deck is pretty nice, and especially for the extra search. And personally, I probably would still play this on my grade 1 turn just so you could actually have space to play another order in your grade 2 turn. But the second skill is going to combo with your grade 3 where auto, when bound from the order zone by the ability of your at least grade 3 Argo Siren Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards and stand it. And this is how you're going to get your restanding rear guard. And yes, you will be binding this during battle. So overall, it's a must play, mainly for being a grade 1 set order and just adding the second skill on top. In which we go to the grade 2 with Tanky Power Argo Siren Rifty, which when placed by riding on top of Argo Siren Erima, the grade 1, reveal the grade 3 Argo Siren from your ride deck, search your deck for one Tiding card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, of course, shuffle your deck. So it's exactly the same thing as the grade 1 with a different second skill where count rear guard, if your Vanguard is Argo Siren, this unit gets boost. Once again, it's another setup card and it's just very helpful, and the boost ability can be quite helpful sometimes. Only thing is, we do not have a grade 2 Tiding card. So meaning that you have to search back that grade 1 if you want to play one in your grade 2 turn. And this is what I mean that you can play in your grade 2 turn as well. In which we go to the grade 3 with 13 power Argo Siren Calliopeia, which has the skill Count Vanguard during turn if your bind zone has at least one Tiding card plus 5k. If your bind zone has at least 2, your whole front row gets 5k instead. This can be pretty nice, especially as you can tell already, you do have some multi-attack in the deck. In which the second skill is Act Vanguard. Once per turn, cost this card from your hand, choose the Tiding card from your drop zone and put it to the order zone. So meaning that they could be decent discard fodder, but spoiler, you're going to have ways to put stuff from the bind zone back to the drop zone, so you have other ways to recycle as well. And since this is Stochea, you have ways to call from drop zone as well, so discarding isn't entirely too bad. And the third skill is the one where it does everything, where Auto Vanguard. Once per turn, when this card attacks, cost Count Blast 1, choose a Tiding card from your order zone and bind it. Then, if your opponent's Vanguard is at least grade 3, you can cost Andros 3, choose 2 Tidings instead. So obvious already that this whole entire deck revolves around the Tiding, and as you can see from the grade 1, it does something while binding. And that grade 1 already restands rear guard, so you're already having multi-attack. You might just run Inlet Pulse, especially since this deck uses quite a bit of soul, and Inlet Pulse goes to soul as well. But anyway, as you can tell already, this deck is already quite resource heavy. It needs specific cards for it to function, and without those Tiding cards, you're obviously going to do nothing, and those Tiding cards also need rear guards, which luckily those cards actually help you get some resources. But so far, everything is just okay. And speaking of Tiding cards and Inlet Pulse, we go to the grade 3 Tiding, Cryanos Orcos. So you play it by Soul Blasting 1 while your Vanguard is Argo Siren, and when it's put to the order zone, search your deck for up to one Tear Dragon and call it to rear guard, and of course shuffle your deck. Like I said about the Tear Dragon, you might just put Inlet Pulse in the deck because you already got multi-attack and you're using quite a bit of soul already. And you do in a way have other decent Tear Dragons as well, like the Persona Ride user. But anyway, to the main skill where auto, when bound from the order zone by the ability of your at least grade 3 Argo Siren, if your Vanguard is at least grade 3, choose one of your Vanguards to get this ability into the end of turn. Auto Vanguard, at the end of battle, this unit attacked. If you did not stand by card ability this turn, stand this unit and change its drive to 1 until the end of turn. Yep, you get a restanding Vanguard, and even though this is going to second card, aka if you use Argo Siren bind 2, you will also get a restanding rear guard on top of it, so you could actually technically get 5 attacks in this deck. Overall, it's not too bad as a finisher Tiding card, but once again, it's key piece heavy. And now to the support, Argo Siren Milzone, which is a great one with keep powering the skills. Auto rearguard, at the end of this unit boosts as a tier dragon, put this as soul, choose one of your units, it gets a keep powering in turn. And basically it's for any tier dragon, so you could play this on many Aqua Force themed decks, as long as you have tier dragons in them, so this is overall not too bad, especially going to soul. Although I don't see this card being run either way. And then we go to Boar Brainy Dragon, which is great too at taking powering the skills. Auto drop, when a Titan card is put into the ore zone, and if you do not have a rearguard with the same card name as this card, cost counter +1, call this to rearguard. Yep, a card for recovery, which is of course very nice. And it's a tier dragon as well. And it's also a nice discard fodder as well because it activates from drop zone. But the second skill is that auto when placed on rearguard, cost put a Titan card from a bind zone to drop and plus 10k in your turn. This is of course going to be very helpful due to the fact that you're going to be binding your Titan cards and you can reactivate stuff from drop. So obviously recycling is just very key with this card, especially with the superior call. And then we go to Argo Siren Chanel, which is great one and keep powering the skills. Auto when placed on rearguard, if your Vanguard is Argo Siren, cost count +1, search your deck or drop zone for one Titan card, reveal it and put it in your hand, and if you search your deck, shuffle it. Obvious must run just because it searches directly from your deck anywhere, not just from like top 7. And the fact that you're only restricted to Argo Siren Vanguard, meaning that you can play this on your Grey 2 turn, because by then you probably will have a counterblast. That itself is already very good, and this is just a must play for the deck. But the second skill is count rearguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is at least Grade 3 and your Titan was put to the ore zone this turn, this card goes to 5k. Mainly just run this for the search, but the extra 5k is pretty nice as well. And finally, Stunning Wave Dragon, which is another tier dragon by the way. It's a grade 3 with 13 power in the skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard from deck or hand, if your Vanguard is Argo Siren, this card is 5k. And then you can counterblast 1 or Ranger Blast 3 to draw a card until the end of turn. A little generic plus engine, and especially you can technically call this from deck as well, especially from your order cards. So this isn't entirely too bad. But the second skill is Auto Rearguard. Once per turn when this card attacks, you may have this card get plus 5k power in your turn, but at the end of the turn, retire this unit. Basically becoming a big beater and then killing itself after, but once again, you do have some drop zone reoccursion, especially since this is Stochea we're talking about, so this is overall not too bad. So that's it for the new Argo Siren ride line. What do you guys think of it? Overall, it's just pretty cool. We finally get a new Aqua Force Battle Siren themed deck, even though it's called something else. And I have to say, plays a little more unique than I thought, because it plays with the set order and basically focuses around using the set orders. In a way, it is actually kind of reminding me of some Brandgate decks, aka Vanguarda or Welstra, because they focus on activating stuff from the order zone as well. But so far with what they have, it's probably just an okay deck, and I think this is what the deck is meant to be, a budget friendly deck. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.